Well, hello, Facebook world. This is Cyndilu coming to you live from New Zealand. And I'm here today with a couple from Lexington, and I'll tell you more about them in just a minute. Or actually, I'm going to let them tell you more about them. But in case it's the first time that you're ever seeing or hearing me, I help people to find their voice, to live boldly, and to step into dreams that they thought maybe were dead. And so today I'm going to be interviewing and sharing with you Ponte and Sean Twit, who have Cornerstone Chiropractic, and Ponte also works in that office doing other things, and I'm going to let her tell you about her passions in that office. So if you would like to introduce yourselves to the world, that would be great.
All right, thank you for having us, Cyndilu. This is exciting. My name is Dr. Sean Twit. I'm from Wisconsin, but I've bounced around the country the last few years, working for other doctors. But when I first got done with school, I graduated from Palmer in 2004. I ended up going in practice in my father's practice. He's been in practice for 42 years, so that was a blessing to have that opportunity. And I learned a lot for the first 4 years, and then I moved on to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and then Stamford, Connecticut, and then now in Lexington, Kentucky. And I did that. I want to learn from different doctors from different disciplines from around the country, picked up a lot of extra skill sets, and felt confident at this point to have my own practice. But I've been under chiropractic since the day I was born. I'll be 42 this November. So for 4 decades, I've been under chiropractic care. And it's helped keep me very healthy. In my household, my mom was a stay-at-home mom that cooked a lot of our own meals, and my dad was able to go to the office and take care of patients. So we were very, very lucky. We got adjusted our whole lives. We never were vaccinated, never taken any medications. And ironically, none of us 4 kids missed any days of school. In 20 years of school, we never missed a day of school. We were always very healthy, extremely healthy. And my brother and I were both in martial arts. And I've been in martial arts in Taekwondo for 24 years and fought at a very high level. And despite all the trauma to my head and neck and my body all over, I got adjusted and never had any allergies or headaches or back pain. And so I'm living proof and a walking, talking billboard for the proactive, non-drug approach to health. And so at a very young age, at age 12, I'll share a quick story. My dad had me come down to the office, and I was 12 years old. I was trimming the shrubs, and he had to go take care of an emergency patient on a Saturday. And up until that point, he would share stories about patients that whose lives he's literally transformed. But when you're 5, 10, 12, he just kind of goes in one ear and out the other. Don't really, truly grasp the understanding of what he was doing. Until one day I was at the office, like I said, and this gentleman plopped out of the passenger side door into a collapsible wheelchair because he couldn't walk, couldn't talk. His arms were contracted, hunched over, shaking his head, drooling down his face. He was in rough shape. I thought, why, my God, I don't know what my dad's going to possibly do for this guy. And about 25 minutes later, he walks out upright, pushing an empty wheelchair. So, and I asked him afterwards, he went out for brunch, and I said, Dad, what'd you do to that guy? He says, and his reaction was awesome. His reaction was a lack of a reaction. He said, what? I just got him adjusted. Like, it was just standard procedure. No big deal.
His adjustment.
So at age 12, I was like, this is crazy. I mean, that's my dad. I was so proud. And so I thought, I'm going to look into this. So I want to kind of do what he does. And I did, and the rest is history. And I've been blessed to take care of patients as young as 37 hours old and as old as 99 years and 9 months. And I've been able to take care of some professional athletes from various sports. And so it's been fun. It's been a blessing. And I love to get up and go to work every day. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Well, let me just, before Ponte chimes in, let me just ask you something. So a baby at 37 hours, you're doing an adjustment. Why is it important to have a baby adjusted?
Quite simply because the first example of pretty intense trauma we all go through in life is the birth process. Even a non C-section birth, even a C-section birth, a non-vaginal delivery puts a lot of torque on the upper cervical spine. And so it's kind of a miracle that we even survive the birth process. So every child should have, I tell patients, even young children, I tell the parents, I say, just like you should take your children into the dentist to get checked for your teeth, you should go to the chiropractor if you have a spine to get checked. And that starts from birth on. And it's very simple, very delicate, very effective, very easy. And when they get adjusted starting at a young age, the munchkins get the opportunity to develop a healthy immune system without the reliance on medication. And so again, I'm one of 4 kids that have all been raised that non-drug family lifestyle.
I love that. Absolutely love that.
Blessing.
No, my oldest daughter had her children from birth, from little babies right on up through adjusted. So
Smart.
Yeah. Okay, Fonta, I'd love to hear more about who you are and what you do.
Okay.
What are your passions?
Hi, everybody. My name is Fonta. I am from Kentucky, where we are living now. And what I do at the practice, I wear a couple of different hats, but I specialize in a circulatory therapy that enhances the blood flow to the microvascular system. And it's wonderful, again, with preventative medicine, I think right up there, like just underneath the chiropractic care. And I also focus on nutrition, lifestyle transformation, and weight loss. So all wonderful components to keeping your body in optimal health. We also have a massage therapist in the practice, and I love this combination of taking natural, non-invasive therapies and combining them into one center so people can really get the full experience of what it's like to expand their horizons in the world of self-care. So one of the things that I'm passionate about is shifting that paradigm for other people and just and getting the conversation going and just inspiring people to open up their eyes into the ways that they can take better care of themselves instead of it seeming like just like self-care being something that's like a pampering thing and not something that we're really, really deeply involved with every single day.
Yeah, actually, my friend calls it maintenance rather than pampering.
Yeah.
But, she's going for some maintenance to keep her body functioning the way it's designed to function. And I was like, that is so true.
Yeah.
So I had a little maintenance myself yesterday. I had a massage. It was wonderful.
Fabulous.
Yeah. Oh. So how did you two meet?
Well, so Sean and I met a couple years ago. I was working at a mom and pop vitamin and supplement store here in town. I was focused, it was like laser focus on healing my body. I had just recently come out of a pretty abusive and fairly traumatic relationship. And the way that trauma manifested for me was in the form of inflammation. And a lot of things were not working right. And I didn't feel very good at all. So I was dedicated to learning about the things in me that had stepped so easily into a relationship that really didn't serve my highest good. And also working as hard as I could in terms of learning about nutrition, learning about the natural approaches to health, holistic medicines, alternative treatments and such. And Sean had just moved to Lexington about like a month or something before our paths crossed. He'd opened up his practice and was stopping into businesses to drop off his cards and introduce himself. And he walked into Robert's, saw me, and said to himself, "My God, I'm in trouble." And then when I saw him and he introduced himself, not a joke, I clear as day heard, "This is the chiropractor that's going to help you." I was just fresh on the hunt for a corrective chiropractor, which is exactly what Sean is. So that's how we met. We went on one date after that, and we both needed some time to heal from the relationships that we had just gotten out of, and it took about a year. And then we came back into alignment with each other and have been inseparable ever since. That was like May of last year. We were engaged a month and a half later and got married last July, or this past July. So it's been very sweet.
That is sweet. Do you have anything to add to that, Sean?
Um, yeah, it pays to be patient.
That's awesome.
Yeah, chasing cats is not as effective as chasing dogs, I'll tell you that much.
Wow.
That's true. And I'll tell you, marrying somebody who's a little bit more healed is so wise.
Right.
I think that this is going in a different direction than I thought we might go, but there's so many women and men, but mostly women, who go from one abusive relationship to another.
Yeah.
So quickly because they're looking for that fulfillment or love or something. They're looking for finding their worth. And until you take the time to spend with yourself and find that self-worth within yourself, you're no good to anybody.
Sure.
No,
So that's for somebody out there.
you could be more correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So your passion then for the medicine or for the alternative type medication, not non-medicative health, started because of your own journey.
Me?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, without the relationship that I was in was very important, and I don't have any regrets in that. I think that my stubborn nature has kept me in it for longer than the lesson ended, and then it just started getting really nasty. And so I could have left much earlier with the information that I needed to jumpstart me into thinking differently. But very important teacher in my life who, I mean, after that, hitting ground zero, I was able to form or build a solid foundation for my life and learning about self-love and self-worth and having value and developing confidence to take care and love the person and own who I am. But yes, it was healing my body that set the stage for falling in love with natural medicines, energy work, all different types of healers, and it just opened up a world. There's a fabulous community of healers here in Lexington. And the fact that I get to participate in that, and I know so many of the people here that offer their services in the most incredible way, I feel so very blessed.
I'm trying to figure out how to word this. There's so many people that have been brought up that you get sick and you go to the doctors.
Mm-hmm.
You get an earache and you go to the doctors. You get a headache and you go to the doctors. That's your, you go and get your medicine, you go and get your pills. And there's so many other ways, but they're often outside the box of what we're trained in.
Mm-hmm.
Sean, you were fortunate to be raised, with a chiropractic dad. So you had firsthand experience seeing how well that worked. What would you say to the person who thinks it's still a little bit outside the box and not quite sure they want to try that route?
Well, when that comes up, and that does come up a lot, it's funny. I've been in practice 14 years, and I've seen that question come up less and less, especially as the patients have become younger and younger. They haven't been brought into that mindset. But here's what I do say. The power that made the body can heal the body. And the father of medicine, Hippocrates, said, look well to the spine for the cause of disease. He didn't say take ibuprofen, for your headache. You don't get headaches because you're missing ibuprofen in your diet, right? Your body develops symptoms because your immune system becomes suppressed, period. Now, there's two trains of thought I tell the person. I'll say, well, one is from the outside in, one's from the inside out. Chiropractors understand that your body is incredibly impressive and beyond our comprehension and complexity, right? It's amazing. Your body controls millions of chemical impulses every minute. And as we're talking right now, our hearts are beating. How? You ask a cardiologist and they'll break it down anatomically, but how does the muscle contraction and the electrical impulse and the coordination from the brain to the heart happen? We don't know. But we know that it's amazing, and your spine houses and protects your most valuable asset, and the one thing that controls the function of every cell in your body, and that's your brain and your spinal cord, which makes your central nervous system. as a chiropractor, I love having those conversations because it's an opportunity not to start an argument, but to educate from ground zero and say, look, I understand where you're coming from. Why don't you come on and let's have a conversation, and let me share with you my perspective on what's worked for me and thousands of patients that I've had the opportunity, the blessing, and the privilege and honor to work with. I'd love to be able to help you, because if what you're doing isn't working, to continue that and expect a different result is the definition of insanity. So I use it as an opportunity, and to educate. When I first came out of school, I was like, you become argumentative, but as you get older, okay, and you have more experience, you look at it as a fantastic opportunity to separate fact from fiction and have a nice conversation. And what happens usually is the tide turns, and they go like this. They go, I understand. What you're saying makes sense. And that's all I need is that opportunity to make have a nice conversation and become impatient. And
I bet you get a whole lot more patience from having a nice conversation than you did from arguing.
Well, you attract more.
Trying to make your point.
Yeah.
But I think as humans, we tend to sometimes want everybody to think the way we do, and to act the way we do, and to understand the world the way we do.
Mm-hmm.
And coming to the reality that we're all individuals and we can only see the world from our perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So getting the information in a conversation and being able to process it in our own brains and say, yeah, that makes sense.
Exactly.
Then allows us to move forward. So that's amazing.
When I got out of school, I used to try to bombard the person with information, but nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. And I'd rather share and care than tell and sell, right? So just connect with them where they are, and then the message is more likely to resonate with that person, and they're more likely to listen.
So Ponte, what is your greatest passion?
My greatest passion, is, I guess, to be totally honest, it's just being a little creature of love and serving the people that I love. I'm passionate about cooking. I'm passionate about enjoying life, and I'm passionate about paying attention to detail and
reading, art.
I'm passionate about art. I am passionate about the pleasures of life, and I love being representing those things and reminding other people around me that they are all worthy of the same, and to experience pleasure on a daily basis, whether it's by the way that we express ourselves through dress, artistically, how we feed our bodies, nurture our bodies. It's by having nice scents in the air and flat, fresh plants around. I mean, I'm all about that. I'm passionate about that. I'm passionate about living well.
I think a lot of people don't know how to celebrate anymore. Do you find that to be?
Well, I think that people forget themselves, or that it's like an extra thing. It's not that, well, life is this way and that's just extra. And to celebrate, it's like, well, there's a birthday once a year. It's like a once a year thing, instead of like, maybe we're silly, but we find something little to celebrate. I try to celebrate something every single day. I mean, why not? It makes it way more enjoyable. So, and it's fun to be silly like this, and like publicly on doing like a Facebook Live, and like announcing our dates to Whole Foods. I mean, who goes on a date to the grocery store? We're like, why the hell not? It's fun.
We had one today.
We had one today. It was fabulous.
What did you get? Anything to do?
One of our favorite snacks right now are sardines, boneless and skinless sardines, and avocado with some fresh lime juice and Bragg's aminos. I like a little cayenne on mine. I think I sprinkled
So
some on
good.
yours. And yeah.
Avocado with almost anything is good, although I'm not a sardine person, but
Oh
that's
God,
all right.
I am crazy about sardines. So that was definitely a bulk of the groceries. Eggs, you know, the usual, some turkey jerky sticks. Nothing terribly sexy, but
So where's your next date?
where's our next day?
Probably again tomorrow, every day.
Well, we do need kitty litter, so I'm thinking Kroger either later tonight or tomorrow for sure. Yeah.
I love that. My husband would really resonate with that. So we hadn't been married long, and the next thing I know, we're going down the frozen aisle, and he sweeps me into his arms, and we're doing a waltz in the aisle. It's like, all right. But people would come around the corner, and they would just smile. It's like we need to enjoy life, like you were saying, and so many people.
Well, love shouldn't be something that's taboo, you know, like expressing it, and like there's like a whole like, ooh, PDA, like public display of affection. It's like, well, yeah, like, I mean, we're not gonna like lock ourselves in a tower if we're gonna be like sweet to one another. Like, you should publicly display it. I mean, there's a line between like being inappropriate and like displaying your affection for another person, but surely like the bulk of us have that down. Which line to stay on, but or side of the line anyway. But yeah, that needs to shift for sure. Waltzing like by the frozen yogurt or kissing in the rain, like, oh God forbid, it's seen, it should be seen. It should be seen. It should be normal.
It should be indeed. So I have a few questions that I'm going to start asking. You know, the Actors Studio, how they have like those 10 questions.
Oh yeah, I used to watch that all the time.
I've decided to do like a beBOLDyou 10 questions. So I don't know which one of you wants to go first, but Ponte, we'll start with you.
Okay.
Are you introverted or extroverted?
I am definitely a mixture of both. I'm becoming more and more comfortable with the extroverted side. And that is something that within really this past year, probably, well, maybe it's just like really since the beginning of the year, something that I've really started to love about myself, like expressing being extroverted, expressing myself like in public, on doing these Facebook Lives with Sean, and just getting myself out there. And that's been really, really fun. Very rewarding. Freeing, because there's a lot of power in that. And
Facebook Lives are fun to watch.
Oh, thanks. We enjoy them. And then the other side of me that's like, I love being at home once we're home. I don't need to go anywhere. I like being in bed with a book. I like being with just, you know, my cat on the balcony painting. I don't need bright lights I don't need to be entertained. I can entertain myself all day. But so I'm falling into, I think, a really nice balance of both.
That's awesome. Sean?
Well, to expand on, to answer the question first, I'd like to say that, tomorrow is not guaranteed. So every day, I try to tell her 50 times that I love her. And, you know, because life is very precious and we're not really in the driver's seat. We're a spectator here and your number could be called any day. So I like to say that. But it is also a mixture of both. I can be loud and obnoxious and fun and the life of the party, but I can also be quiet for hours on end. I do like the outdoors and I love sitting up in a tree stand and in the fall with the bow and arrow. And I will sit there for 4, 5, 6 hours at a time and just watch. It's like you have a front row seat and to the greatest show on earth, watching the sunrise come up and the deer walk by and hear the turkeys gabble in the morning. I need that to recharge my batteries. I love the outdoors. I love the challenge of it. I come back, I'm more refreshed, more relaxed version of myself. And in that place, I'm the happiest on earth. And so that's a very introverted place for me. When I come home, if we go out for drinks with some friends, I can hang with the loudest of them, right? So life's about the balance. I'm not one or the other, but I'm down the middle, I guess I'd have to say.
I think a lot of us are. What phrase do you never want to hear?
I'll go first.
What phrase do I never want to hear? Well, what I never want to hear, I never want to hear myself ever say that I am not enough.
Wow. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Sean?
That you never lived your life to the fullest.
Nice. What's your favorite color?
Oh my goodness, what is my favorite color? That is a really great question. I honestly have no idea. In terms of jewelry, my favorite color is gold. I love gold.
There you go. That works.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite color?
Gold is my favorite color, perhaps.
Gold and diamonds.
I would have to say forest green, without a doubt.
Forest green. Okay.
In my office,
What has been, huh?
in my office, it's a light, like a blue-green color, and I have that color in my office. The reason why I mention that is because it produces a nice relaxing effect on people, and that's why it's that color in the office. Most doctors' offices are white or yellow or some other color, and I like that light green color. But my favorite color personally is forest green.
Okay.
And what has been your favorite age?
Oh God, though, that's easy. I mean, 34 is pretty bitchin'. My 30s, I love my 30s. God bless the Fonte in her 20s, like, girl. But life really started to get real. Like, it was like a veil lifted when I turned 30, and every year it has gotten significantly more awesome and more exciting and more bizarre. And now I have this one by my side. I mean, my 30s are awesome, but 33 to 34 is definitely the most epic so far.
For me, it's 41. That's my current age.
Okay.
I don't look back at the past and say what I woulda, coulda, shoulda, or the golden years or the good old times, or because it's over with. It's a chapter you've already read. I look at today as like the best day, and tomorrow is going to be even better because I have no idea what is going to be on our plate.
And to add that, I am 34, so it's right now. It's right now.
Yes, right now.
Right now.
Right now. That's awesome. And what book are you reading now, or what's the last book you read?
I am reading The Power of Now. It was a wedding gift from my mother and my sister Hartwell. And what are you reading right now?
Well, right now I'm reading, I'm going to plan on starting tonight for the third time, a book by Grant Cardone, The 10X Rule.
I love that book.
I haven't read that
The book that I just got done reading was a book by Deepak Chopra, and it was The Power of Love.
The Path, I think it's The
Path to Love. Yeah. Very good book.
Yeah.
Awesome. So have you ever traveled outside your country?
Yes, I have been outside the country just a couple times to Canada. I went to Canada with a couple girlfriends 2 years ago, I think. And I left with the most incredible fur. Like, it's got this coat, this massive fur hood. I don't even know.
Super hot.
It's the most incredible thing I've ever owned. And it looks like my cat is like draped around my head, like a halo of my cat. And then I went to Costa Rica. This was 3 years ago now, maybe, with my baby sister, Arbella, and I flew down to Costa Rica to support my younger sister, Hartwell, who's the singer, songwriter, model, mystic muse, mama. And she just killed it down there, sang so beautifully. And we got to be her groupies. It was fabulous.
I've been to Ontario, Mexico. I've been to Turkey 4 times. I've been to Russia. My mom is 100% Turkish, so I speak a little bit of the language. And I've been there 4 times. I've been to Russia. I went to Russia to do a little training, fighting for martial arts. I went in January, which is a terrible time to go to Russia. I don't recommend that at all. It's freezing cold for someone from Wisconsin, so that's a move. I've been blessed to go to a few places.
And Italy is on the horizon, right? For you?
Italy is on the horizon.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Our honeymoon is being planned. It is officially on the calendar, so that's step 1.
Awesome.
For May of next year.
Awesome. So, do you create to live or live to create?
I totally live to create.
Same.
Yeah, no question.
If you got to start over tomorrow, what would you choose for your vocation?
Would you do something different?
Nothing, because everything that I am and who I am, and my character, my personality traits, my interests have been shaped and molded by everything that I've gone through, good and bad, up until today. And that's about the idea.
Sean had the opportunity to fight professionally, or go to grad school and become a chiropractor, and he chose the latter of the two, obviously. And I know that you miss fighting.
There was a moment where I had an offer to be on the U.S. national team. I was in Madison, Wisconsin, fighting for the Badger State Games for middleweight division, black belt, and I beat somebody who was. I had 6 fights that year, and I had the opportunity to take first place again for the 6th year in a row. And I was excited about it. And I got done with the fight, and one of the coaches for the U.S. national team offered me a position right then and there to train for the Olympics in 2004. He said, "You just beat one of the best fighters in the country in 40 seconds." And I said, 42 seconds, actually. Like, "Oh, really?" And I said, "Well, who are you?" And he's like, "I'm a coach for the U.S. national team." And I had the opportunity to fly to a different city every weekend for years and be training for the Olympics. I would have been paid for that. It would have been, for someone in their early 20s, I knew that I couldn't do that for more than probably 6 to 10 years, maybe 10 years, but I could be a healthcare provider for 40 or 50 years. So for me, the decision was difficult, but also easy on the same token. And I chose healthcare instead. But if that's the one thing that I could maybe go back and somehow in a time machine relive, it'd be kind of fun. Not because I think about it every day and regret that decision, but just to see what path what doors would have opened for me.
What it would have looked like.
Yeah, my life would have been different, but not in a bad way.
But your patients are grateful that you chose what you chose. I guarantee that.
Mm-hmm.
So name a person or persons who encouraged you to be you, to be completely you.
Oh golly, there have been a number of really important people who have done that. For me, my parents have always been very encouraging and supportive of who I am. One of my a mentor of mine. She's also one of my best friends. Her name's Wendy Sue. She has definitely held me accountable in ways that no one else has, and I value her friendship and what I have learned from her so much. So if I had to just name one person, I would say Wendy Sue. But there are so many remarkable and very powerful women that I've learned from who have also encouraged the same. The list is long.
For me, it would be my father for giving me work ethic, for my mom for instilling honor, integrity, and honesty. And she always used to say, "Tell me who your friends are and I'll tell you who you are." So that was really important. And then my martial arts instructor, Brent Coutura, for the discipline that he instilled in my young brain. I'll tell you one thing, a lot of times when it came to decide whether or not to do something that I knew was wrong, it wasn't Johnny Law, it wasn't my parents, it was disappointing my martial arts instructor.
Mm-hmm.
That kept me on the straight and narrow.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say that much.
Yeah. Those martial art instructors are so instrumental in so many young men's lives, young women too. What one word describes you best?
Well, the first word that comes to mind is passionate. Is that a good word?
Describe your best. Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I'd say persistent.
Okay. Now, is there any last things that you would like to say to anyone? And at the end, we'll pop your links up there. There's the one for Fonte right now. If you want to connect with her, you can connect with her on her Facebook page. And then you can probably find both of you through that, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And then there's the Cornerstone Chiropractic, their website. So is there anything you'd like to say to just kind of wrap it up and give a last little encouraging word?
Treat others the way that you want to be treated. Live every day as if it's your last. And work hard, do your best. Live hard, but love hard, work hard, and just take the time to appreciate the little things, because it's easy to get wrapped up in the routine of the day and the things that unnecessarily have to. We believe that they have to stress us out. The Dalai Lama said, and I'm paraphrasing, he said, if there's something that you can do about it, then don't worry. If you can't do anything about it, then don't worry.
I love that.
I like that.
Yeah. Either way, just don't worry.
Exactly.
The earth is still going to spin tomorrow and the sun's going to come up. So whether we're here or not, we just have to enjoy this ride.
So true. Did you want to say anything last words, Fonte?
Well, I think that you did such an eloquent job. Thank you for having us on. This has been
Thank you.
So much fun.
It's been fun, and I love getting to know you a bit more, and I look forward to continuing to do that. And we'll have you on again, in 6 months or a year or something, and see where things are at and what's happening. And hopefully we can get Hard on here. I definitely want to try to get Hard on here.
Oh, yeah. That'll be fun.
That girl, she's about as bold as you can get.
That's right. She has this incredible song. It's called Sail With Me. And whoa. It was the song that played as I was walking down the aisle.
Oh.
Her voice is, she is an angel. But yeah, I don't think that I have anything else to add. I'm grateful for the opportunity. I hope that we get to make our way out to New Zealand at some point. That
would be lovely. We will definitely have a place for you to be. So Thank you to everyone who's been listening to us live and on the replay and on the podcast. So if you want to stay in contact with what's happening with beBOLDyou, go on over to Cyndilu.com and check it out.
Thank you.